Well, Mike, on Monday morning when Scott Tolzien looked at his phone and saw that he had missed 2 phone calls, one from Chuck Pagano, the other from Andrew Luck, he had a feeling something was going on, and he soon learned that Luck was in the concussion protocol, meaning Tolzien would be the likely starter this week. So the guy who led the Wisconsin Badgers to the Rose Bowl and was an undrafted free agent in 2011 will try to build on Indy's 2-game winning streak. He told us he wants to play this game like all the turkey bowls he played growing up. Have fun and find completions early. And he said having Luck on the sideline as an extra set of eyes is an added source of comfort. Now, Tolzien's backup tonight will be a guy who has never taken an NFL snap, Stephen Morris, who was elevated from the practice squad just over 24 hours ago. Now, the Colts are without another starter because of concussion. Safety Clayton Geathers is out, and he'll be replaced by corner Darius Butler. And a note on the Pittsburgh offense, with D'Angelo Williams and Darius Hayward-Bay still out with injury, the Steelers will dress just 2 running backs and 4 wide receivers tonight, Mike.
Yeah, thin in those skill positions, Michelle, for sure, for Mike Tomlin's team, tied with Baltimore at 5-5. Those 2 teams play on Christmas Day in Pittsburgh. What will happen between now and then? Chuck Pagano's Indianapolis team got that win Sunday and got a little bit closer to Houston atop the AFC South, where the Texans lost on Monday night in Mexico to Oakland. Those teams meet late in the season as well, Houston and Indy. Chris Boswell set to kick it off. The Steelers won the toss. They deferred. Indianapolis has Jordan Todman back deep to receive, along with Josh Ferguson. Off we go on this Thanksgiving night, and Ferguson will not bring it out. So from the 25, it's Scott Tolzien and the Indianapolis offense.
Scott Tolzien, Wisconsin.
Frank Gore, the U.
T.Y. Hilton, FIU.
Dante Moncrief, Ole Miss.
Dwayne Allen, Clemson.
Jack Doyle, Western Kentucky.
Anthony Costanzo, Boston College.
Jack Muhort, The Ohio State University.
Ryan Kelly, Alabama.
Denzel Good, Marshall University.
Joe Haig, North Dakota State.
Well, there is Andrew Luck in the concussion protocol. Started feeling better, but this is a short week, so there's going to be no quick turnaround out of that protocol and into the lineup. But on the sideline, he'll certainly be a big help to Brian Schottenheimer, the quarterback coach, Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator, and Scott Tolzien. Starts from the 25. First play, little pressure, and the ball's knocked out right away by William Gay. And the Colts recover it, a loss of 10. So Pittsburgh brings pressure on the young player on the very first play, and Gay knocked it away.
William Gay is going to come right through here, and you'll see Frank Gore try to reach over to the other side and pick him up. Just could not. Got the arm as he went by. And for Scott Tolzien, he barely got that back foot planted and already felt contact.
So much for you. We're going to try to get you an early completion, let you get comfortable.
Yeah, Pittsburgh said, I got another thought for that one.
Falls back on his own fumble, loss of 10. This time he's able to get rid of it in the middle. It's high and incomplete. Looking for T.Y. Hilton. And Sean Davis and everybody else back there surrounding the intended receiver. So we've alluded to a couple of times Tolzien's time in Green Bay where he got those starts. Before that, he was in San Diego when he was an undrafted rookie, then in San Francisco. He was brought in here because they had Matt Hasselbeck as the backup. Remember the issues that Andrew Luck had, missing essentially half the season last year with that lacerated kidney. Hasselbeck at age 40 is now in television. They went through a bunch of other subs in the backup quarterback spot. And Ryan Grigson, the GM, wanted somebody who was young, who was ascending, and also fit the cap. Thus Scott Tolzien, the backup. 3rd and 20, tries to set up the screen. That's not going anywhere either. Robert Turbin is denied a loss of 5. Javon Hargrave, that good-looking rookie 3rd-round pick, has an emphatic 3-and-out for Pittsburgh.
Well, I think everybody thought maybe draw or screen on that long yardage situation, but check out the rookie. Javon Hargrave's going to sniff this one out and make a nice play. The Steelers starting 3 rookies on this defense, and they played pretty well there. The Colts did nothing but move backwards.
That was 15 yards back. Terrific punter and Pat McAfee to get it away. Antonio Brown will wave for that fair catch. Just a couple yards shy of midfield. Great field position for the Pittsburgh offense.
Ben Roethlisberger, Miami Redhawks.
Le'Veon Bell, Michigan State.
Antonio Brown, Central Michigan.
Eli Rogers,
Louisville.
Jesse James, Penn State.
David Johnson, Arkansas State.
Alejandro Villanueva, United States Military Academy.
Ramon Foster, Tennessee. Marquise Pouncey, Lakeland Senior High.
David DeCastro, Stanford.
Marcus Gilbert, Florida.
And pay attention to those pro football focused position rankings as it went by with that offensive line. This is a good group up front. They spent a lot of money and invested in protecting the franchise. Ben Roethlisberger missed a game this year, but makes his 179th start here tonight.
And with the way Ben's played against this bunch, they go spread right away.
And from the 48, Chris, out of his hands quickly, a couple of yards to Le'Veon Bell. And they're doing much more of that, splitting him out as a wide receiver. Just more options for Roethlisberger to make his magic work. Season 13 already for Ben Roethlisberger. 20 touchdown passes on the season and limiting those sacks as well. When Todd Haley came in as the offensive coordinator, that was one of the points of emphasis. And we're seeing Ben take a lot less of those Superman with the kids hanging on his shoulders trying to run around and throw. Getting it and getting rid of it. 2nd and 8, Bell got a good block. Terrific cutback, and Le'Veon Bell is the first down to the 40-yard line. Roosevelt Nix, his fullback, helped lead the way.
Well, you got to be careful now. You can't be too aggressive coming down the line of scrimmage against Le'Veon Bell because he is lightning quick with his bounce outs, and he is one of the most patient runners, if not the most patient runner that there is. So they made a big deal with Indianapolis this week about sort of setting walls on the outside and then staying flat inside. They didn't set a very good wall that time.
Bell was used a lot in the win over Cleveland last week. So Fitzgerald Toussaint, the third-year back out of Michigan, is set to take the handoff, his 5th of the season. It goes nowhere. A bit of a loss of yardage for the Indianapolis defense.
Hassan Ridgeway, University of Texas.
David Perry, Stanford. Arthur Jones, Syracuse.
Eric Walden, Middle Tennessee State.
DeQuell Jackson, Maryland.
Edwin Jackson, Georgia Southern.
Robert Mathis, Alabama A&M.
Pat Robinson, Florida State.
Mike Adams, Delaware Blue Hens.
Darius Butler, University of Connecticut.
Vontae Davis, Illinois.
And you saw Butler in there. Michelle mentioned at the top, Clayton Gathers. Same like Andrew Luck. Concussion protocol. They didn't find out till after the game, and man, he's a big player for them. They get it to Brown, and quickly tackled by Vontae Davis, who's been dealing with an ankle injury. Actually was in a walking boot on Monday and Tuesday, but comes up big on Thursday.
Yeah, and he's going to have to. This is the one matchup, and this is the one guy that you have to have at least one really top-end cover guy, and Vontae Davis is that guy. So if this Colts defense can hold up right here, you know, you punt it to midfield. Ben's been wearing you out the last 2 times you played him. Come up with a defensive stand. Give this crowd something to get excited about.
Third and 8. The Colts bring 4. Roethlisberger over the middle. Eli Rogers on the run inside the 10. It's 1st and goal as Patrick Robinson makes the tackle on a good player, Eli Rogers, in his 2nd year out of Louisville, a gain of 30.
A little too much. Watch Rogers here make this kind of a break just like that. And when we were talking to Ben Roethlisberger about Eli Rogers, he said he has a chance to be one of the best slot receivers that I've ever had a chance to work with. Now, that includes a lot of really talented wide receivers. When he said that, he got my attention, and then we see it right off the bat.
That was one. We both looked at each other. Really? Yeah. And Ben kept going. He feels that way. Chris Hubbard, the extra offensive lineman, an eligible receiver. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh. And Bell. That little hesitation hop that is vintage Le'Veon Bell that defines his patience as a runner. Gains about 2 on that one. Calling the plays, Todd Haley, former head coach with the Chiefs.
Yeah, and Todd Haley, he loves to take his shots deep, but more and more teams are playing the Pittsburgh Steelers to take away that deep threat. So what do you have to do? You have to try and run the football and try and get those safeties down so you get the single coverage.
Other side of this chess match, Ted Monachino, 50 years old. Last 6 years, the linebacker coach with Baltimore. First time as a defensive coordinator in the NFL this year. Ben Roethlisberger said, I'm seeing some of the Baltimore stuff showing up in the Colts this year. Outside run with Bell, bounces it to the outside, and Le'Veon Bell has the game's opening touchdown. And as usual, terrible towels travel well.
I tell you, these two guards have been playing so well. Watch Ramon Foster secure this, then get this block down here, but that is just a gaping hole. And as they try to get up the field on the outside, that time LeVar Edwards, you're just leaving too many gaps inside for the running back, Le'Veon Bell. You worry about Ben, but Le'Veon Bell can beat you as well.
Second-year kicker, Chris Boswell, just gets it through. So that's the nightmare start for the Colts and the perfect start for the Steelers. The inexperienced quarterback struggles on the opening drive. Steelers with good field position. Bell takes it in. 7-0 Pittsburgh. Working holidays, the family that's back home that you don't get to enjoy these great days with.
We have some characters on that crew. I'm telling you.
Get to share the holiday with our TV family as well. That one will not be touched. The touchback will bring the Colts out to the 25. See if Tolzien's got a better drive too. Of Indianapolis tonight, Ryan Kelly has been the starter at center. First round pick who's done a good job, but he is out, and Jonathan Harrison, with 9 starts at center last year, 10 the year before, is in for the Colts. So the whole battery is new as Frank Gore takes the handoff for a yard. Let's go down to Michelle.
Well, yeah, just after that opening series, Ryan Kelly came to the sidelines, had his left shoulder looked at. He is questionable because of it. And you mentioned Jonathan Harrison. Missed a couple of games this season, did Harrison, with an emergency appendectomy. But Kelly right now questionable, Mike.
That's a shame, Michelle. Very consistent performer, Chris, who has improved that play in that first round pick stepping in.
Yeah, they're excited about him, and it sort of solidified that whole left side.
Second and 9, 2 consecutive runs. This is Gore fighting forward to about the 30-yard line against this Pittsburgh defense.
Ricardo Matthews, Cincinnati.
Javon Hargrave, South Carolina State.
Stephon Tuitt, Notre Dame.
Anthony Trickolo, the U.
Ryan Shazier, the Ohio State University.
Lawrence Timmons, Florida State.
James Harrison, Kent State.
Artie Burns, the U.
Sean Davis, Maryland.
Mike Mitchell, Ohio University.
Ross Cockrell, Duke University.
And as that play was ending, you may have seen Denzel Good, the starting right guard, shaken up for Indianapolis. So Joe Wrights has to come in for Good, and that leaves you for the moment with 5 healthy offensive linemen. They only had 2 extra offensive linemen dressed tonight. So Wrights goes to right guard here, Chris, and Joe Haig bumps inside to right. Wrights to right tackle. Haig bumps inside to right guard, I should say.
Yeah, how's it going so far for the Colts? This is a rough beginning.
Center hurt, right guard hurt, backup quarterback in, pressure on. Tolzien completes it for the first down to Dwayne Allen across the 40 into the 42-yard line.
Didn't you almost expect Dwayne Allen to come back with a good performance? He did not play well at all against Tennessee a week ago. You could tell he was a little beat up. Here he is right here. They come with another blitz out of the other rookie, Sean Davis. But this is a big, powerful guy in Dwayne Allen. He was sensational as a rookie and hasn't quite lived up to that since, but I would expect a little fire from him tonight.
Blue lady, look up.
Way through the quarter after the first down for Indy. It's a run by Frank Gore for about a yard.
You know, one of the things I really like about Frank Gore is that we have 2 running backs in this game tonight. Could not be more opposite, really. You have Frank Gore, who is going to hit the hole no matter. You tell me where you want me to run this ball. He is going to hit that hole right in, not a dance around, elusive kind of guy. And, of course, on the other side, you have Le'Veon Bell, who knows where he's going to end up by the time the play's over.
We saw that on that opening touchdown run. Gain of 2 for Gore, protecting Tolzien. Puts it up and just over the head of Dante Moncrief, and incomplete.
Well, one guy you always have to pay attention to on the end of the line of scrimmage is that big guy, James Harrison, and he is going to push the pile back into your quarterback on more than one occasion. Unfortunately for me, he was showing me some pass rush moves last night, and I was happy to get out of there alive, because some of the things that he does to offensive linemen, you worry that it's like an MMA fight, like he's going to go for a submission hold or something.
He's 38. He's in unbelievable shape, extraordinary work ethic to keep his body going. 3rd and 8. Tolzien fires again. T.Y. Hilton brings that in, turns it upfield to the first down into Pittsburgh territory at the 38-yard line, a gain of 19.
Yeah, I told you, Tolzien's not going to be afraid now. I promise you that. He's going to come up and find T.Y. Hilton right there. And the more Pittsburgh is trying to bring blitzes, of course, they got there with the first one, so your inclination is to stay with it. But Tolzien's not going to blink. Even the throws I saw 3 years ago when he was playing against the Giants, they'd intercept one, they intercept two. He was still firing it down the field.
Don't wait, don't wait. That was flush, that was flush. Hurry, secure.
So 1st and 10, and it's Gore on the run. No gain. He was really refreshing to talk to when we spent time with him yesterday. He was talking about his upbringing. His dad and parents grew up as Bears fans, 30 minutes north of Chicago. That's his dad, Mike, with the Colts hat there. And he said it was funny. I had surrounded by all 85 Bears fans. They loved Ditka and all that stuff. But Tolzien, he had a green and gold jersey, number 4 on it. So he said, I was ahead of the Favre curve before anybody else. He enjoyed the team that he eventually played for, the Green Bay Packers.
And thought he got a lot of coaching from everybody up there, including Aaron Rodgers. He was really impressed with how patient Aaron was with him.
As the gun, Steelers rush 4. It's complete to Dwayne Allen again over the middle, yard shy of the first down, before Lawrence Timmons brings him down again.
I like that play by Tolzien. He comes out, he's going to fake like he's going to throw the quick screen to the outside, move those linebackers a little bit, then come right back inside. I tell you, there's one spot that you do like to work is the middle of the field, because as great as these Pittsburgh linebackers are, coming and blitzing and all playing the run and all the things you can do against them, there are some holes in there where you can throw the ball inside.
Get Timmons and Shazier in coverage, and they've just done it. The back-to-back passes to Allen, setting up this 3rd and 1. They go up top here. Harrison coming in, and he brings down Tolzien for the sack. He set the Pittsburgh Steeler all-time sack record last week by getting one, and he's got his 4th of the season there.
Well, James Harrison, just a monster coming through there, but right on the other side, Stephon Tuitt's going to be the one to get the initial pressure and get Tolzien to move. So bold play calling there on 3rd down and 1, and it backfires. James Harrison set the record, right? A week ago.
Well, the head linesman walked Harrison off thinking that he might have been injured and wanted to make sure that the athletic training staff immediately got a look at Harrison. So that's why they blew the play dead for a moment, stopped the clock. Adam Vinatieri's field goal now becomes over 50-yarder, 52. He has already hit 5 this season. And that NFL record 44 consecutive field goal streak stopped last week. And this one is wide to the right. So that sack pushes them back a little bit, and the usually dependable Vinatieri misses from 52. Ben Roethlisberger and dad now. His oldest is 4 years old already. It's gone fast, really changed Ben's perspective in so many ways. Age 34 now. His team takes over at their own 42, leading 7-0. Second drive for the Steelers, and Le'Veon Bell jumps forward, gain of 5 to the 46, 47-yard line. So we showed you James Harrison being walked off by the head linesman, Derek Bowers. Interesting to see what happens to Harrison here after the sack on Tolzien.
That was L.T. Walton, who came up and smacked him from behind and kind of rocked Harrison. He didn't really show any signs. We didn't see any contact to the head, maybe a little helmet-to-helmet stuff right there, but it looked like he was getting up fine, and then that smack to the back of his helmet from Walton seemed to stagger him.
I mean, you see that all the time. Guys do that in a physical game, and it's
unbelievable.
Almost like you've never seen it. Bell eludes the first tackle, got a good downfield block as well from Kobe Hamilton, the wide receiver, and it's a first down for Le'Veon Bell. Chris, we should give full credit to Derek Bowers, the head linesman, who saw that and immediately got Harrison off the field. The officials are asked to make that part of their duties, and Harrison got looked at on the sideline.
Yeah, and, you know, it was interesting talking to Ben, and, you know, there was some stuff made about how he said Andrew Luck shouldn't play and it was a competitive thing. He said, no. He said, that happened to me once where I got knocked and my vision got knocked off and I went back to the training staff. He said, being tough has nothing to do with head injuries. You know, that's not tough. You need to go out of the game.
First down play action, looking deep. It's covered, holding on to him. Couldn't bring him down before he got rid of it, but it was incomplete. TJ Green, the second-round pick safety, got into Roethlisberger.
Boy, that was a nice rush there by TJ Green, wasn't it? Coming right through the block of Roosevelt Nix and getting some pressure inside. This guy is a bit of a freakish athlete. Watch him come weave his way through right here and almost take Ben Roethlisberger down. But he can jump out of the gym. He ran a 4.34 and he plays safety. They're excited about what he can do, and he's really only playing because of a concussion to Clayton Gathers, the other safety who played great last week.
Second and 10. They'll draw it with Bell. Got a terrific block from Marcus Gilbert. Gets to the edge. He gets the first down. The right tackle paved an easy path for Bell to gain 11.
I don't know what the Colts are doing here, because now they're stunning here, which means this guy has to come out to fill in the gap there if that's what they're going to do. Otherwise, they're just freelancing. You can't expose your edge to a guy like Le'Veon Bell. He's going to see that every time.
Bell, who missed the first 3 games of the season as he was serving suspension for violation of the league substance abuse policy, came in game 4, hasn't missed a beat. Over 200 yards from scrimmage. And the win over Cleveland on Sunday. Will Ben take a shot? There he goes. Receiver Brown broke free, and it's incomplete. Butler couldn't get his feet down in time. The corner fell, and Butler, coming over from the safety spot, had to save the day.
Take a look. You've got in the back end now Darius Butler, who typically is the slot cornerback for the Colts. They've rearranged everything. Davis goes down, maybe in part because of that ankle. That's an ankle breaking route. But luckily they had a guy who's used to playing against Antonio Brown on the back end that came over to save the day.
And Brown made a good play to make contact, or else Butler would have gotten those 2 feet down. Second and 10, Roethlisberger. Rushing 3 here. And the pass is caught by Bell. He's tackled by Edwin Jackson, linebacker, who's been playing well. Chris mentioned it at the beginning. These 2 games, they've just crushed them. Look at those numbers. 886 and 10 touchdowns in 2 games. First player to throw for that against one opponent in 2 games. And Antonio Brown's been in on it too. 18 catches, 4 touchdowns, a 71-yard punt return where he jumped onto the goal post. Remember that one on the Sunday night?
Oh, yeah. Well, now do you have the guts to bring pressure and play man coverage? Because that means Antonio Brown would be one-on-one if you do. He's at the top of your screen.
Against Vontae Davis, going to go that way and take a shot, and Brown caught it for the touchdown on the back shoulder. And they do it to the Colts again. 25 yards.
You can just write it down. If you leave one-on-one coverage against anybody on God's green earth, Ben Roethlisberger's throwing that ball. I mean, that you can just write that down. That's a fact. And then you're going to get a chance to see Antonio Brown dance in the end zone. But he is the happiest guy I know. I've never seen a guy that smiles in so many different situations. Maybe it's because he's scoring touchdowns all the time.
2 penalty flags thrown as the Steelers were set for the extra point.
Boy, I tell you, it's great to watch a quarterback and wideout that know.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 26 and 84. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Touchdown.
Very late those flags were thrown. He's done a lot of dancing. Were they celebrating together?
Yep. Anytime it's choreographed between 2 teammates, which I never fully understood completely. It's like you score as a team, you celebrate as a team. I'm okay with that, but I know it goes back to the fun bunch and all those things, Redskins, Cowboys, but I like team celebrations.
I'm with you. Well, we just showed you what they've done to the Colts in the past. They do it to them in the present. Ben to Brown, 14-0, Pittsburgh. On NBC. 14-0 Pittsburgh. We mentioned it at the beginning. Is it enough to rely on Ben and Bell and Brown? Oh yeah, when they're this good.
Pretty good, aren't they? I tell you, as soon as Le'Veon started running the ball, the clock started ticking on when he was going to hit a touchdown to Antonio Brown.
Choreographed celebration by the kickoff to the 20. Jordan Todman with the return. He brought one back against Green Bay 2 weeks ago. Todman gets to midfield, tries to stay in bounds, and gives Indy some very good field position at the 48-yard line. 42 on the return. Chris, let's go back to the touchdown.
Let's take a look, and you'll see that it's Ben Roethlisberger throwing this ball well before Antonio Brown even knew it was coming. And what they do is once the cornerback is in a good position, they throw it to the back shoulder. These two guys have done this so many times, and then Antonio Brown has an easier sight line back to the football, so they can either throw that deep over the top or throw the back shoulder, and really only Ben Roethlisberger decides that. Antonio Brown has to simply react to it.
Good field position for Tolzien of the Colts. Denzel Good, the right guard, is back in. Left in the last drive with an injury. They'll run Frank Gore on this carry for maybe a yard, as we're under a minute here in this first quarter.
I'll tell you who's starting to pick up his game a little bit now is Lawrence Timmons. There's James Harrison still on the sideline, but Timmons was very good last week in that game against Cleveland. They got him engaged a little bit more in rushing the passer, getting him after smaller running backs who have to try and pick him up. He's a huge man with some good moves, and the more he's moving forward, the better he is. Nice play there.
They're trying to deal with Duke Johnson from Cleveland. How do we keep him from getting down pass routes? Make him stay in and block. Timmons got there. Tolzien with 4 rushing, throws it to Gore. We'll get to the 43-yard line. And a pickup of 4 as the quarter comes to a close.
Boy, Bud Dupree almost came back and took his head off. Holy smokes.
Well, Pittsburgh in the first after 1. Steelers 14, Colts nothing. And Sunday Night Football on Thanksgiving night will continue after these messages. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by Geico. Mike Tirico in for Al Michaels, along with Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Our Sunday Night Football crew spending Thanksgiving evening with you. Happy Thanksgiving to Al and Linda and their family. Sure. Enjoying the game tonight. Robert Turbin is the running back next to Tolzien. Scott Tolzien, his 6th year in the league out of Wisconsin. In for Andrew Luck here tonight. His shot in the middle is deflected and incomplete and hit Lawrence Timmons, who got hit by his own teammate. Everybody okay? It's 4th down.
Yeah, you'll see Timmons here is going to drop right down the middle of the field here. And it looked like Tolzien was throwing the ball right to him. A big collision in the middle of the field. Just a little missed time that time with Dwayne Allen. They have to punt.
It was Allen who he hit. Pat McAfee rolling out, looking to throw, and he does complete to the tight end. It is Eric Swope inside the 10-yard line for the first down. It's a Pat McAfee, who's always got a few tricks up his sleeve. With another one, 35 yards, and boy, did the Colts need that.
Yes, they did. And for Chuck Pagano, what a great call that one was. Coming over from the far side across the field, and I think that he still had the option to kick that ball, did McAfee, if he wanted to. They had the protection in place, but once he saw Swope break open, go ahead and make a play. And you know, you're the Colts, you're playing with a backup quarterback. You have to try and steal a possession. We knew it was going to happen, and McAfee's laying a little dance on it himself.
McAfee's a comedian, he's a character. He grew up in Western Pennsylvania in Plum, northeast of Pittsburgh, and that's a big thrill for him. His 2nd pass attempt of his career, 1st completion, so they go Wildcat here, and Gore takes the direct snap, Gets it close to the 5-yard line. So the fake punt, little wildcat look there. It's what you'd expect. You just got to try anything to get back in this game.
It's a great call, though, by Pagano, right? You have to take a shot here. This is a team that's been struggling trying to protect Andrew Luck anyway. Now you have a backup quarterback in there. There's going to be some bumps in the road here, but you have to find a way to score a touchdown in this situation. You can't take that momentum swing in your favor and then let them hold you to a field goal here.
It's a Steeler defense that's terrific down here in the red zone. Second and goal, they drop 8 in coverage, and Tolzien in a small spot. It's caught by Moncrief for the touchdown. Oh, it was tight down there, but Tolzien gets it to Dante Moncrief.
How about that throw? Just going to come out here and turn around. And this takes a confident quarterback to throw this one in there. This is a tight window. There's no room at all right there. Sean Davis knew exactly where this was going to go, but he throws it low and away. Perfectly done. Tell you, Ben Roethlisberger would have loved that throw. Andrew Luck, you can't do it better than that. That's nice by Scott Tolzien.
We talked about how he was the apprentice the last 3 years with Aaron Rodgers. That's one of those Aaron Rodgers type goal line throws.
You know, and the Colts are a very good team down there in the red zone, and it just was strength against strength, and you think maybe the backup quarterback, but Tolzien got it done.
Adam Vinatieri adds the extra point out of the hole to Pat McAfee. It was the pass by the punter that got them down there. A little surprise. And Eric Swope, a tight end who really played basketball in his college days, very little football. With the catch, it leads to the touchdown pass by Tolzien. 14-7 now, Pittsburgh.
He's out of his mind.
Isn't he?
I'm telling you, he's out of his mind.
He does comedy shows in town.
So
and
funny.
He sells them out.
Oh.
He is hysterical and a terrific kicker as well. Outstanding punter and very talented athlete, as you saw there. Sammy Coates can't return that one by McAfee. A little stand-up, a little fourth down pass, a little strut. Go get him, Pat McAfee. Well, we mentioned how involved the two key players in this offense are. Williams and Gordon in San Diego, Fitzgerald and David Johnson with Arizona. But Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, since Bell came back from that 3-game suspension, since week 4, they've had it more than half the time in terms of touches for the Steeler offense. They've got the most yards in the NFL of a duo over that stretch. They're so reliant on them, and to Todd Haley's credit, he's very creative in where they get the ball and what they do.
And they have a lot of wide receivers injured this season, almost an amazing amount, and yet they've still been able to work that magical trio and win games.
After the touchback, Steeler drive starts from 25, and it's thrown to Eli Rogers, one of those emerging receivers. He gained 6 to the 31-yard line. And the development of Le'Veon Bell as a receiver has continued to add to the different things they can do with those two guys.
Well, there's no question. I don't know that there is a running back in the NFL that has more confidence as a receiver and a quarterback that has more confidence in him as a receiver. You can see that package of plays growing and growing. They're starting to work combinations with Antonio Brown out there. How strong is that to be able to take him from the backfield and work that?
There he is where he's made his name, and that little hesitation, and the read gets him the first down. Michelle Tafoya at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, during his 4-game suspension earlier in the season, Le'Veon Bell devoted himself to becoming a better receiver. He told me he worked on his route running and caught 500 to 600 balls a day, 6 days a week. Sometimes he'd work with a jugs machine. Other times someone threw it to him, putting the football in all sorts of windows, requiring all sorts of catches. He said he wants to be reliable for Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, he's made that impact. What Ben tell us last night, he's our second-best wide receiver right now.
Yeah, and that's saying something because some of these guys are pretty good. Eli Rogers playing great.
There's Bell cutting it back. It's the wing arms of Edwin Jackson. That will be a 3-yard game. We talked about him coming back from the 3-game suspension with Le'Veon Bell. Remember, he had the MCL injury in week 9 last year, so he's coming back after the rehab from the offseason from that injury.
Yeah, and it's the only thing you worry about with Le'Veon Bell is using him too much, putting him in vulnerable situations. Here he is in the slot coming down to play wide receiver again. And you know Ben loves throwing him the ball, but we've also seen him get hurt in those situations. So you're trying to win games, so you just got to use your best players the best you can.
17 snaps, 10 to those two guys. Roethlisberger going for Brown, incomplete. Colts want offensive pass interference. They get the deep flag, and Vontae Davis stays down here on the turf.
Yeah, it looked like Antonio Brown hooked his arm, and then he landed very hard.
Pass interference, number 84, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Matchup down at the bottom, another one of those back shoulders, but there's Vontae Davis, and he that time learned a lesson. He learned it from the touchdown. You can see him grab the one arm and really left him no defense when he landed on the ground.
Vontae's also got his hand in the cookie jar there as well with Antonio.
Yeah. It's game on right now. I mean, you can see these two great competitors. They're going to be going at it all night.
2 penalties assessed thus far, both on Pittsburgh. That first one after the touchdown allowed the Colts to get good field position and score that touchdown. Bell with the carry for 3 yards. Vontae Davis, Antonio Brown matching up a whole bunch here tonight.
Well, so far the 1 touchdown's the glaring play. Of course, Davis fell down on another one, got away with some help from Darius Butler. But big defensive moment once again here. We have to see something out of this Colts defense because your young quarterback just put up a touchdown. Now give him something back.
3rd and 13, they bring blitz pressure again. Roethlisberger floats it up top. Darius Green to the 35-yard line. The tight end gets away for a big Pittsburgh first down.
Oh, how good is that? I mean, just Ben Roethlisberger does some things every once in a while. You just go, what are you going to do? Eric Walden's going to be right out here is going to cover the tight end on this route to come out. Now, Walden's typically the guy who has 8 sacks on the year, and he's typically the guy that you want to see rushing the quarterback, so he holds and he grabs. And Ben threw that ball about 4 seconds before Green ever thought about turning around. Just lobbed it up in the air. Unbelievable.
32 on the game. Fitzgerald Toussaint gives Le'Veon Bell a blow, and 2 yards on the run for Toussaint.
I mean, anytime you know that there's no safety help. So Ben saw the blitz. What did he do? He started backpedaling right away. There's no help. So then he just sort of sidearm flipped that thing up in the air, knowing eventually his guy was going to turn around, knowing he was going to come down in that general area, and ended up hitting him right in the breadbasket. Spectacular.
That's a spot the Steelers need to see more production. Remember, Heath Miller, tremendous tight end, retired. Green has been out good part of the season. 3rd game since he's returned. 2nd and 8, Roethlisberger loading up, going deep for Brown. Did he get the other one down? Yes! Antonio Brown, touchdown. Pittsburgh.
Watch the little wiggle. Going to be a little out cut, a little fake out there. We're going to go back up the field. And Vontae Davis, he got that 2nd foot down. Usually it's so smooth that you can't even notice it half the time. No question about it. Boy, Antonio Brown, for a guy that was picked, what, 22nd, something like that, the year he was drafted.
Among wide receivers, taken to the 6th round.
An amazing superstar. He's almost uncoverable. And he doesn't have the complement of receivers around him. You know, they don't have Marcus Wheaton. They don't have Martavis Bryant. They don't have Darius Hayward-Bay. And they still can't cover that guy.
2010 wide receiver draft class. Had some good ones. Devarius Thomas, Des Bryant, Golden Tate. The 22nd one taken is as good as any of them. Boswell adds the extra point. Steelers 3 drives, 3 scores. It's Roethlisberger to Brown again for the 2nd time on this Thanksgiving night in Indianapolis. 3 drives, all 7-play drives, all touchdowns for the Steelers at 5-5, tied for the division lead.
That's when you know you're hot.
You worry about your hair on the sideline?
You got to fix your hair because you know you're going to be getting a lot of close-ups tonight.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
21-7.
Where's Gregory? Still.
Boswell's kick will be returned once again. This is Josh Ferguson this time. Ferguson's got to put that ball away, and he does, out to the 23-yard line. Tyler Matakevich. They're making the tackle. Well, there is T.Y. Hilton. That is his dad, Tyrone, who's got a lot of connections here tonight. Obviously watching his son play on Thanksgiving, but he was also a big part of the Antonio Brown story growing up. Cherry Park neighborhood outside Liberty City in Miami. Coaching both of them. It's a terrific area for talent that came out during that time. And T.Y.'s dad, Tyrone, a big part of it. With the 2-star receivers in the game tonight.
Coached him too good, as they say.
James Harrison back in the game.
Red 20! Red 20 hot!
And from the 22-yard line, Tolzien gets hit, put it up top for Moncrief, and it was broken up by Cockrell, but a flag is down. Russ Cockrell in coverage as Dante Moncrief was streaking down the sideline.
Well, you got to take your shots back the other way if you're going to play against Big Ben. And Scott Tolzien, Ross Cockrell, bit of a tough game against Cleveland, but been playing great.
There's no foul on the play for defensive pass interference. Second down.
Let's see. Ross Cockrell did in coverage.
Yeah, I thought he hit it with the left hand coming up. When I saw it live, I didn't think pass interference. I was more surprised with the call than anything else. I think they got that one right. And it was kind of lucky, really, by Cockrell. When he raised his hand, it just happened to hit the ball. It looked like Moncrief was going to make that catch. But sometimes you need a little luck in this game, too, and they got it.
Chuck Pagano wants to know. Somebody threw a flag. Somebody saw something.
Miller! Blue 80!
But I'm with you. The timing was almost perfect there. 22, Steelers quickly on the other side of the line, and Gore gets very little there. Michelle?
Well, you mentioned AB and TY growing up together in Miami. Hilton in a stable family. Brown in a broken home. They played in the same youth football program, and as you mentioned, were both coached by Hilton's dad, Tyrone, in different years. Brown told me the elder Hilton, quote, was a great coach who harped on the details and made sure I kept a good attitude. And his favorite memory of being a kid at the park, he said working hard and being disciplined.
Well, it shows in his play. Amari Cooper, Devontae Freeman, Teddy Bridgewater also out of that area. These 2 star receivers here tonight. Tolzien going to take off and not going to get very far. The Steelers were hunting him down. He's finally stopped Shazier and the charging big Javon Hargrave, bringing the quarterback run to an end.
Boy, I'm sure Chuck Pagano was saying, okay, when you know you're not going to get it, let's slide the other way. I mean, we love Stephen Morris, but we're not ready to see the 3rd string guy in here. But you have to appreciate the competitiveness. Tolzien went after that.
Pat McAfee threw the punt on the last kicking opportunity. This one he'll get away. Brown left a fair catch, 51-yarder at the 22-yard line. Still effective by McAfee. Pittsburgh 3 for 3 on drive so far. For you right here on NBC. 21-7, Steelers on top. Pittsburgh fans saw Sidney Crosby get a couple of goals and handle the Rangers on the day before Thanksgiving last night. And now their other star, Big Ben, keep going up top. One more shot downfield. It was like a punt. Sammy Coates couldn't track it down. Patrick Robinson was step for step with him.
Sammy Coates playing with 2 broken fingers on that left hand. They said the only thing he can do is catch the ball over his shoulder. And I said, well, he does that pretty well. But no, and you could see that really was a play by Robinson.
Yeah.
You can see Ben Roethlisberger. He is the most decisive of all deep throwers in the league. When he makes up his mind he's going to throw one, most quarterbacks take more than 3.1 seconds. 90% of the time, he's under 3.1. So when he decides he's going deep, he is not hesitating.
Devontae Davis, who's been battling with Brown, is back in the locker room with an injury as that pass is too high. Intended for Ladarius Green, the tight end. It's incomplete. One of the reasons he's had time, this guy, Mike Munchak, coaching this offensive line, this Hall of Famer, doing a great job with the Steeler crew up front.
Yeah, according to PFF, 3 of their top 4 rated players on this team are on the offensive line. I'm not sure that anybody would have said that a few years back, but Ramon Foster, David DeCastro, Marcus Gilbert, all playing great. We know Pouncey is guys to the Pro Bowl all the time. This is a terrific group up front.
Munchak was an exceptional player in his day in Canton because of it. Rashawn Melvin is the corner in for Davis. It's 3rd down. Roethlisberger in the middle of Brown. What else is new? Need something? Go to 26, go to 84. We have a flag down, though. Back by the quarterback. Mathis was trying to turn that corner.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face, number 89. Offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
We'll get the tight end Green for the infraction, erasing the 1st down.
Yeah, and you could see that Green knew it. As soon as his hands went to the face mask, he pulled him back and basically held him up like I didn't do anything, which was almost a signal. Here we go, right there. Watch him pull his hands back and then hold him up. You can't really see, but basically the officials know, and we've talked to them about that before, and that means you're guilty.
Right.
They convert every other 3rd down. If they convert this one, it'll be really impressive.
They need to get to the 33 and try to do it underneath with Antonio Brown. It'll be about 10 yards short. Darius Butler and the Colts defense use the penalty to their advantage, and after 3 touchdowns and 3 drives, the Steelers will punt it for the first time tonight.
Yeah, but you know, we talk about Dallas's offensive line and some of these top offensive lines, but this team now, with the way they can run the football with Le'Veon Bell, the way that Ben has been protected, has had as long as anybody to be able to throw the ball this season. This group up front's really getting it done.
This is Jordan Berry, Australian, who went to college at Eastern Kentucky. To kick it away, turn that baby over. Rocket shot. Flag is down. The kick is 63. Here comes Chester Rogers on the return. Good return for Rogers. Right about 24 yards, but we'll see if any of that math matters once we check the flag. Depending on this flag, Colts could have good field position again, as they had earlier in this first half that led to their lone drive for a touchdown. Lengthy conversation here. They're over talking to the Steelers side.
Illegal formation on the return team, covered up the center. It's a 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So they're going to re-kick it. Tomlin obviously don't want to be in that situation, feel like you can get Indy pinned further back. You got to give that snapper room. You can't be in the space of his shoulders. Right. Well, you saw Dallas. Anybody have them at 10-1? Unbelievable season. Prescott and Elliott do it again. Vikings had a tough one in Detroit. Those teams get a full week of rest. You'll see them Thursday Night Football, a week from tonight. Coverage begins football night in Minnesota at 7:30 Eastern. Then the game at 8:15 Eastern right here on NBC.
Yeah, I messed up. I had them at 11-0, missed that one. But
no, it's still,
yeah.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah,
still probably in the higher percentage.
A little disappointing
of accuracy. I'll tell you, those 2 games today played out exactly the way the season has. Detroit was down in the 4th, come back late. Stafford gets him in position. Prater kicks a winning field goal. And Dallas uses the rookies and the good protection from the offensive line. And they come through when it matters. So we'll try this again with Berry kicking to Rogers. Called a fair catch because of the hang time that time. And he'll field it at the 37-yard line. Just under 6 left till halftime. Truth teller right there. Good for you, Robert Mathis, 4th among active players in sacks. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Football. That's all we get now. That's my favorite.
Oh, you took the easy road out there.
I had fish today. You know, it's weird when you're working.
Tolzien from the 37, first down, breaking free. T.Y. Hilton couldn't pull it in. He had a step on Russ Cockrell.
Just strictly one at the line of scrimmage against Cockrell. And once T.Y. Hilton gets in a foot race, you're going to have some problems with that. It almost looked like Cockrell thought he was going to have help deep, and then T.Y. sort of caught it and then looked up and then sort of lost it and then grabbed his helmet. Boy, that's what you need if you're Scott Tolzien, one of those right there.
You said it, Chris. No luck. They're taking deep shots when the opportunity presents itself. So the 37, he's back to throw again in the middle of the field. Dwayne Allen, 3rd time they've connected. Very close to the first down.
Yeah, and you saw what Pittsburgh did. They almost gave up one for the entire distance. And what do? They come straight back to cover 2, going to drop right down the middle of the field here. Let's not give up a cheap one down the field for a touchdown, I'm sure is what Keith Butler, the defensive coordinator, is thinking. Our offense is looking good. They got stopped on only one drive. Just don't give up the freebies.
Tolzien 7 of 12 so far. It's 3rd and inches, loaded up with 3 tight ends. All on here to the left side. Bottom of the screen, they pave the way for Gore. First down into Steeler territory at the 48-yard line. So Tolzien's in because of what happened with Andrew Luck at the end of the game against Tennessee. Really, it's the 4th quarter. This is the play everyone presumes that the concussion occurs. Austin Johnson of the Titans hits him, the whiplash of the head hitting the turf. Now, Luck finishes the game. He got up and seemed to be absolutely fine. As a matter of fact, he did his post-game local radio interview. He did his post-game media obligations, and he talked to the Colts public relations staff, their coaching staff. Andrew seemed fine after the game. It was only a little bit later that he started to feel a bit woozy and got checked out. Tolzien across the middle, off the hands of Eric Swope, the tight end. And incomplete. Again, Ross Cockrell on coverage.
Well, I can tell you, Mike, that some of the woozy moments of my career came in that exact situation when the guys tackle you and you can feel yourself pinned and you're going backwards, and your natural tendency is to bring your head forward to try and protect it from hitting. But what happens is it creates that whip, and you saw that whip action, and so it becomes worse. I don't know if you could mentally train yourself to just go ahead and lay your head back and take the initial hit, but that's when some of the worst concussions happen.
2nd and 10, trying to set up a screen, and Ryan Shazier would not let Gore get out. There's a penalty flag thrown on the far side of the field. Shazier's got your rights back there when a receiver's behind the line of scrimmage to get him and grab him. The initial signal there was holding in the conversation, and then a second flag is thrown by the referee, Walt Coleman, during the discussion.
I'll tell you, Tolzien's seen some jailbreaks out here so far. That was a screen that he couldn't even find the time to get off.
There are 2 fouls on the defense. Holding number 54, that penalty's declined. Rubbing the passer, number 94. Defense, that penalty's accepted, 15 yards, first down.
It was interesting, the roughing the passer penalty flag did not come out at all until the officials began their conversation.
We'll take a look. Coming around here is Timmons. See if he gets a little helmet-to-helmet contact. You can see that there, and that's what they called. Tough time for this offensive line trying to match everything that's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Cameron Hayward, probably their best defensive player, not even in there.
Torn pectoral muscle. He's on injured reserve, out for the remainder of the season. So it gives the Colts a first down to 33 as Gore comes to the right, and good play up front by Pittsburgh. loss of a yard or two.
Well, one of the problems the Colts have had this season is that they have just had to play through so many different combinations, and it happened again tonight with the injury to Ryan Kelly. So Andrew Luck has been the most pressured quarterback in the league this entire season. 45% of his throws under pressure. So that makes things very difficult. To be completely fair to this offensive line, I think Andrew Luck has to change his game a little bit. He tends to hold it longer than most quarterbacks. He's very good at running. But just like Ben had to adapt, I think you're going to see Andrew Luck do the same.
Here comes the pressure from William Gay. Got rid of it. Hilton holds on with a big hit inside the 5, and both he and Mike Mitchell need medical assistance. It's 32 if it stands. Lawrence Timmons also shaken up on the play for Pittsburgh. So as they check the couple of injured players, will step out. Well, that's great to see. I know T.Y. Hilton looks to be in pain as he's walking off. He was down throughout the entirety of our break. Held on. Incredible that he hangs on to this, Chris.
Yeah, it really is. They come with the blitz, and then Lawrence Timmons going to chase him down the middle of the field. Mike Mitchell is going to hit him. A legal hit. Everything about that is legal. It's just tough football. I mean, that is a shot. And you see Hilton land hard, bang his head. Mike Mitchell took a shot as well. And somehow T.Y. Hilton held on to that ball. That's a gutsy catch. He knew he was going to take it. He's not a big guy. And it was nice to see Mike Mitchell in a very classy move come back out and check on T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, and Mitchell was shaken up too. Look at that. That's respect. Incredible that he held on all the way through to the ground. So first it goes a direct snap to Gore. And they've seen Indianapolis run this a few times with Andrew Luck. They continue to do with Tolzien. And Pittsburgh's done their homework, as you would expect. They're not fooled at all.
Yeah, not at all. And that's a really nice play that time by Jarvis Jones on the outside, undercutting the whole thing. He got underneath the lead block there of Jack Doyle and just disrupted the entire timing of that one. Mike Mitchell, big time safety. Boy, he's an intimidator back there, but that said a lot about T.Y. Hilton hanging on to that one.
Robert Golden is in for Mitchell. Chester Rogers, the rookie, is in at receiver with Hilton out. It's 2nd and goal. Side run with Gore. Still going, keeping those legs churning and laying on top of bodies. That's why the whistle didn't blow. And they're going to give him all of that movement inside the 1. It'll be third, about a half a yard for a touchdown.
Boy, I tell you, this Ryan Shazier is something. When he hits the gas, he looks like a rocket ship coming out. Watch him come underneath. I didn't think he had a chance of getting there. And watch him make this quick move and just disrupt it and save a touchdown. With the Pittsburgh Steelers, you just live for another day. Remember all the 2-point conversions the Pittsburgh Steelers offense goes for all the time.
Right.
Well, in practice, this defense gets plenty of reps. This is showtime now.
Time to figure out what play you're going to pull. 2-minute warning in Indy. Toyota halftime coming up here from Indianapolis. The Cowboys continue their roll. The Lions continue their late season drama. Yes, the Lions are in first place on Thanksgiving night. Bob Costas here with us. He'll preview our Sunday nighter, the Chiefs and the Broncos. Liam McHugh, Rodney Harrison back in the studio for the highlights. All coming up on the Toyota halftime. It's 3rd and goal. Extra lineman in for the Colts. And they will throw. Tolzien running, stumbling. Can't get there as he reached forward. Stopped at the 1-yard line. 4th and goal. It was Sean Davis, the rookie out of Maryland, who comes up with the hit.
What a huge play by Sean Davis. This looked like it was going to be a touchdown all the way, and the rookie's just going to come up one-on-one and have to make a solid tackle if he misses it all. Tolzien seemed to stumble a bit. And there's that hybrid player, Sean Davis. Huge again, and I think you have to go for it here, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, we were talking about it in the break. If you don't make it, they're letting the clock run here, give Pittsburgh as little time as possible. But I'm with you. At 21-7, are you going to get down here very often with your backup quarterback? So he takes the timeout with 1:12. Mike Tomlin choosing not to take a timeout and preserve more time for his Steelers to get the ball back on the other side of this 4th down play.
Yeah, you just get the feeling Tolzien probably would have won that battle or had a better chance, but when he stumbled, it was just over at that point. And Ben, who's played about as flawless a first half as you can play, is looking at the possibility of having to go in at halftime 21-14, which would feel like a bit of a loss after the way they've dominated much of this game. But Tolzien's really hung in there. He's made some big throws down the field. That's what I saw 3 years ago, and he's still taking his shots.
I mean, it hasn't been perfect. Absolutely not. He's a backup quarterback, but this has been okay so far. He said, he described it, I thought, really well, Chris. It's like a tornado. As a backup quarterback, you prepare, you know that the call is going to come. Guy got hurt, you're in, could come in the game. It came on Monday, as Michelle told us at the top. He knew it was coming. Still, he got to get everything together in a short week and prepare. And here he is with an opportunity to get his team within 7. Steelers take a look at how the Colts line up, and we'll use the timeout here for strategy on defense. Our series, they reach speeds up to 235 miles per hour over at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, not too far from here. They have a terrific light display for the holidays over at IMS.
A lot of teams will go spread and do some kind of run, but they are empty here.
4th and goal. Tolzien fires, and it is incomplete. Tried to get it to the rookie Chester Rogers. It was behind him, and then Mike Mitchell made sure he wouldn't make the play. Second big hit by Mitchell down here on this drive.
Nice play by Ryan Shazier to get in this throwing lane. Going to come right here, and you'll see Shazier, number 94, just force that throw a little wider, because if he were throwing it on a direct line that time, it would have been picked. And so it was Lawrence Timmons who forced that throw.
You made the point before break, but it's worth mentioning. We always talk about Mike Tomlin and going for 2 when the Steelers are on offense. And so in OTAs and minicamp and one period during the week in practice, they go live in those 2-point situations. And he said it's really helped our defense in the tight red zone. You see it right there again.
No question about it. I'm sure that's going to be a point of pride coming out of here.
99 yards away, Le'Veon Bell with the run just shy of the 4-yard line. Pagano's going by the official. He's going to use a timeout here. Inside of a minute, he'll take it with 58 seconds left until halftime. Indianapolis only has 1 timeout left, 58 seconds. Steelers get the ball to start the second half, so you would think most teams in this mode would be conservative, try to play the clock, but the Pittsburgh Steelers do things bold and send messages. They are not necessarily afraid to go against conventional wisdom. Flag is down as Bell runs up the middle, eludes a tackle, and look out here. Le'Veon Bell finally caught at the 25-yard line by Rashawn Melvin, the corner. We have 2 flags down. I think from Mike's body language, you get an idea we're coming back.
There are 2 fouls on the offense. The illegal formation, number 78 was in man on the line. Holding, number 66, offense. That penalty was accepted. Half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
So they had a tight end motion that way, but Alejandro Villanueva ends up being the end guy on the line of scrimmage right there. So they don't have, you got to have a wide receiver on the line when there's a tackle out there. And Jesse James, maybe he was supposed to walk up on the line of scrimmage. You don't know, but it comes back.
So down to 50 seconds left for 2nd and 9. And Ben trying to get Antonio Brown over to the right spot. I'm not sure he's on the line and covering Villanueva. Hand to Bell, will be stopped at 10. Pagano's going to hold on to that timeout for the moment. Pittsburgh will run this down to 5 seconds before they have to snap it.
And no more freebies for Antonio Brown. Every single time down here, they have walked a safety over the top. So I think they've seen quite enough of number 84 in this first half.
Let's go, let's go.
Vontae Davis getting hurt during this first half. T.Y. Hilton injured on that catch. He's walked back to the locker room for the Colts. Again, Ben, a veteran, he'll milk this all the way down. No, he doesn't. Snaps it at 10. Bell gets the first down, so it's a moot point. He gets out to the 13-yard line, and that will terminate the half. Well, Pittsburgh scored on its first 3 drives. Indy responds with one, 21-7 at the break. Coming up next, it's sort of halftime, but first these messages from your local NBC station. And back in the Circle City for the third quarter. Pittsburgh leading Indianapolis 21-7. On this Thanksgiving night, Ben Roethlisberger, he's been well protected and he's been on point. 9 of 13, 2 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns against the Colts in the last 10 quarters he's played. Scott Tolzien for Andrew Luck. Hasn't been bad. Tough first drive. Better as things have gone on. They couldn't punch it in on the last drive of the half. Antonio Brown continuing. 4 catches, 2 of them touchdowns. He too has just been killing the Colts of late. That McAfee 35-yard completion on the 1 scoring drive, the big moment for Indianapolis. Steelers will get the ball to start this second half. As Bob showed you at halftime, McAfee, he is a trip. Gosh, he's great. Bob Costa showed you during halftime the Hall of Fame ring presentations that were going on for Tony Dungy, who's going to join us during the third quarter up here in the booth, our colleague.
Good.
And Marvin Harrison, a great receiver from his college days at Syracuse and on through here with the Colts. Both get their Hall of Fame jackets this summer. Trying Canton, getting the rings in front of their home fans here tonight. Kicked over to the corner for Sammy Coates. He's trying to return it. And Coates just gets over the 20-yard line. And here's Michelle with the aforementioned Mr. Harrison.
Yeah, on Sunday, Marvin, you guys celebrated the 10-year anniversary of the Super Bowl win. Tonight, you get your Hall of Fame ring. What have these last 5 days been like for you?
Oh, it's been tremendously good. It's a great credit to the city of Indianapolis, and it's good to see all the guys that we had when we had that Super Bowl run, and to be here with Coach Dungy today. It's been a great time.
To come back here must bring back a lot of memories. What's the part of your career you cherish the most?
I think I'd say the fans. You know, they've been extremely proud of us, and they've done a great job of being behind us when we were ups and our downs, and I'm just happy to have a great group of guys like these guys are here.
Congratulations, Marvin.
Thank you very much.
Mike.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, that group, what a job they did. Le'Veon Bell, the first carry here of the second half, a gain of 3 to the 24-yard line.
You know, one of the guys I enjoy watching up front for the Pittsburgh Steelers is David DeCastro. It's amazing how many different ways that Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, has found to get him in front of plays. You know, he's like, in Little League football, you got a great lineman, you get him in front of your star running back, no matter what it takes to do that. They do it with screens, they do it with anytime they pull, he's usually the guy, very, very versatile guy up front.
6 offensive linemen trying to pave the way for Bell, who's just a yard shy of the first down to the 30, and there is DeCastro over there on the double team.
Got Pouncey and DeCastro right up front here as well, and Foster. Watch these interior 3 right here. Just get movement right off the bat, up to the double team. Pouncey's so athletic. You see so many times on those stretch runs where he has to reach, and you think there's no way a guy could be that athletic, and yet he is on the offensive front. They really work well together there.
And that's where those blocks are so good, that athleticism. Get up to the linebacker. Instead of 3, it becomes 5 or 6, and you're in these manageable ones. 3rd and 1. Roethlisberger, first look was covered. Over the middle for the first down. Brought in by the tight end. That's Kobe Hamilton, the receiver, excuse me.
Ben Roethlisberger nearly perfect. Take a little look at that motion. You can see when the whip starts and that ball comes out that he's going to get a little added velocity on it. Some different throws, but they all ended up in the lap of the same guy, it seemed like. Antonio Brown, whether it was back shoulder or over the top shoulder, everything was a touchdown.
2 more for Antonio tonight. 9 on the season. He and Bell continue to be the 1-2 for Pittsburgh. Eric Walden tackles Le'Veon Bell on that first down run 4 yards.
You know, you're a Michigan guy. You probably watched this guy play in college some, but he was like 240, 245. And when the Steelers drafted him, basically told him and said, listen, we believe in you, but about 25 pounds has to go.
He was a big pounding back at Michigan State and came in here and really changed his game. I don't think people foresaw this kind of look. I live in the state of Michigan. You can't say you're a Michigan guy. It's Michigan-Ohio State week. People get very sensitive.
Gotcha.
Roethlisberger on the run, able to complete it to Bell out of the backfield. First down at midfield for Le'Veon Bell, and that's the part of his game that has really expanded in these 4 NFL seasons.
Well, look what he does when he comes through here. Now you're one-on-one against a linebacker who has to try and cover him. Watch this. You got Edwin Jackson, and you know he's a good player, but it's just not going to happen, and it doesn't happen to tacklers either. He just has that patience, and he's going to make you make a play. And defensive players, and some of these coaches have told you, they just don't have it in their DNA to be patient on the other side of the ball.
Steelers right at midfield, opening drive of this 3rd quarter. Pistol look with Bell to the left. And he'll gain 3. Chris, what I find interesting with Pittsburgh right now, well, you know where it's going. It's going to Bell, it's going to Brown. The defenses know. The Colts are not the greatest defense in the league. They're old, their stats are pretty poor. But you know, we got to try to take away these guys. They're just so darn hard to take away.
Well, they are. And by the time, the way you take away Le'Veon Bell is to bring a safety down and help, you know, fill all the gaps in the run game. But then what do you do? Then you get one-on-one coverage against Antonio Brown unless you shift the safety over. Then you have everybody else with no help whatsoever, and it's almost impossible. And Ben understands everything they're trying to do defensively.
70% of their 33 plays to either one of those 2. 3-man rush here. It's Bell as a receiver, too shy of the first down. Akeem Ayers with the tackle. Here's Michelle again.
Yeah, well, I talked with Le'Veon Bell about playing running back versus playing receiver. He said, I'm a different player without the ball in my hands. At running back, I depend on my size, my speed, and my quickness. But when I'm a receiver, I depend only on my quickness. I'm more shifty, don't let anybody touch me, and just try to get open.
Darn, it works, doesn't it? Fastest player to get to 3,000 rushing yards, 1,500 receiving yards. Did that in his first 36 games in the league. Now, let's see what the Colts defense can do. Can they come up with a 3rd and 2 stop? Roethlisberger put it up top for Sammy Coates again. And Rashawn Melvin in coverage. No flag. It'll be 4th down.
I tell you, Ben doesn't miss a thing. That time Mike Adams comes out of center field, the safety, and so he knew immediately where he was going with the football. The minute Adams comes down here, that means they have single coverage and single coverage on the outside as well. So when he sees that safety drop in, he knows, okay, they're going to take away that inside route, and he doesn't care that it's 3rd and 1.5. He believes that his guys are better than what the Colts defenders are. Didn't work out that time, but he took a shot.
Melvin, who did a good job last week. This penalty flag comes down. Pre-snap, it's 4th and 2, but it's going to drop the Steelers back 5 more.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
I tell you, I give the Colts credit, though, for hanging in this one. You know, this is one of those games, 14-0, and you're thinking you backup quarterback, and this thing is over, and yet they were right there on the doorstep to make it 21-14 going in at the half. Make a defensive stop here. Let's see if they have a little plan coming out at halftime for Scott Tolzien.
These Australian kickers are so good, dropping the ball nose down and getting it to stop inside the 10. If it's not caught, Jordan Berry's kick is fair, caught by Chester Rogers. 90 yards for Tolzien and the Colts when we come back to Indianapolis. We know recently Dallas and Detroit always play on Thanksgiving. Here are the histories for these teams. Johnny Unitas played at the Lions in a tie game. Peyton Manning destroyed Detroit in 2004 and beat Atlanta in 2007 with the Colts. Steelers are 1-5 all-time on Thanksgiving. Win back in 1950 over the Cardinals. They lost in Detroit to a Jason Hanson game-winning field goal. And remember the Thanksgiving night game you guys had with Justin Tucker 5 field goals. That's the Mike Tomlin on the kick return game. looking up at the big board, just happened to be in the way, right?
He was.
It cost him a little money, too. Big fine. Tolzien to T.Y. Hilton, who's back in the game after that big hit in the first half. Complete for 3, and again, here's Michelle.
I asked Chuck Pagano at halftime about Scott Tolzien. He said the kid is playing okay, but there's a few plays they'd love to have back. He thinks the other players may be pressing because of the circumstances. So he told them at halftime, you don't have to do that. Do your job. Now, on the injury front, you just mentioned T.Y. Hilton. He was evaluated for a back injury. He's back out there. But cornerback Vontae Davis is out with a groin injury, Mike.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Davis had been battling an ankle. Injures the groin here. Again, a different center there. Ryan Kelly hurt in the first half. He's out. Jonathan Harrison, starting center the last couple of years, is in there as Gore carries to the 16-yard line. Javon Hargrave with the tackle. At 3rd and 4 coming up here for the Colts.
Here we go, Javon Hargrave. We talked about the 3 rookies starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anthony Costanzo coming down trying to make that block, but Hargrave, he had a day the other day against Cleveland, didn't he? He got his first sack of his career and scored a touchdown in that game as well.
Steelers starting to get some young players who need to contribute. They started 3 rookies in that game against Cleveland. They played prominently here tonight as well. 3rd and 3, Tolzien throws complete. And Dante Moncrief has a first down for Indianapolis at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, we saw Sean Davis make the big hit on Tolzien to keep him out of the end zone down there. That time, the Colts go to work against Artie Burns, the other who now leads this team with 2 interceptions. So those 3 rookies, and you know, you talk to the Steelers guys, and basically if you draft them in this day and age, because you got to pay the top end players so much money, that those early picks, they've got to play too, because that's how you balance the salary cap out.
23, Tolzien throws the crosser is Moncrief, and he's pulled down by another one of those rookies, Artie Burns. Burns in the 1st round, Sean Davis, the safety, in the 2nd round, Hargrave in the 3rd round. Now a significant part of the Steeler defense down the stretch. There are the 3. 1974 was the last time that the Steelers started 3 rookies in a game. Jimmy Allen, Donnie Shell, Jack Lambert. There's 3 rookies starting on defense. Last time the Steelers did that, 2 of them turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
42 years ago. Those 3 here for this Steeler team started the win against Cleveland. 2nd and 9. Tolzien cannot get away. That's Hargrave on cue with the sack. This guy had a whole bunch of sacks at South Carolina State, and he's shown a little bit of pass rush ability now.
He sure did, and now he's getting a chance because of the injury to Cameron Hayward. Here he is again, going to come up here with this rush, just fights his way through. And ordinarily, he would just be sitting on the nose tackle position, but because Cameron Hayward is out, he's getting opportunities to rush the passer now. And I think it was 37 sacks that he had when he had South Carolina State. So they've almost been surprised a little bit at the quickness and pass rush ability that he's shown, and they certainly need it, because that was a major issue for this team until a week ago.
3rd and 15. And Tolzien fires. It's caught by Philip Dorsett in bounds for the first down. Nice throw by Tolzien.
Nice play by Anthony Costanzo out here as well, working against James Harrison. Going to come right there, a little delayed blitz, and I'll tell you, that's about as tough a bull rusher as there is in football. And for Scott Tolzien, there's been about 4 or 5 throws in this game. You go, that's pretty darn good.
3rd and 15. They got 16. Keep their first drive of the half alive. Right 4. Blocked across the 40-yard line. T.Y. Hilton started this half. This was the play before. T.Y. coming back over to the sideline. Get that back looked at again.
Yeah, it's rough. I've had one of those before where you're in the air jumping for a pass and you get flipped around and you land on, whatever it's called, something in your lower back. I remember I broke a bone in it. I don't remember what a transverse process or something like that. Come on, Mike, help me out.
Dr. Tafoya perhaps can aid you better than I can with not much there. It'll be 3rd down ahead.
Remember they were trying to tell me about it, and I said, where is it? And I said, well, basically, I can tell you where it is.
I can feel it.
Yeah. But it's, you know, the fields are way better today than what they were back in my day. But when you fly from the air and land like that, pay a price. And Andrew Luck knows all about that as well. It was interesting to hear Scott Tolzien talk about not only what he's taught him as a football player, talking about Andrew Luck, but he's taught him as a person. He said he's made me a better person being around Andrew Luck.
Big play here to keep the drive alive. They're going to run with Robert Turbin on 3rd and 3 and get the first down and more. Robert Turbin into Steeler territory to the 41-yard line. Pretty big pickup of 19 for the 5th-year man out of Utah State.
Yeah, and Dwayne Allen comes in motion and then circles back and gets this key block right here to sort of get that edge. And then it was Turbin, who I'm going to guess would have loved to have had a chance down there on the goal line on 3rd and a half a yard. So Dwayne Allen, who struggled a week ago, is playing much better here tonight.
Drive started back at their own 10-yard line.
Hold on for.
41, Scott Tolzien surveys, comes to Jack Doyle, the tight end. Cathedral High School, Indianapolis, Indiana, hometown kid, with a pickup of 7 on this Thanksgiving night. Shazier, the tackle.
Almost everybody admits that Jack Doyle is their favorite player on this team. They actually have shirts made up. WWJD, what would Jack do? He is like the guy that they all go to anytime, obviously local guy, so he has some connections. But he is the guy that they think they put him in any position, play him at fullback, play him at tight end, split him out like they do here. They love what he delivers.
Heck, he's their second leading receiver this year. He's caught 37 balls. Which is from the Pittsburgh side. The Steelers are going to take a timeout here with 2:49. Lengthy opening drive of the quarter. Thank you one and all, and happy Thanksgiving to your families back home. Out of the Pittsburgh called timeout. 12th play of this Indianapolis drive. Over the middle again, it's Moncrief, and he'll have the first down at the 24-yard line. So if you're just tuning in, to remind you of Scott Tolzien's story a little bit, the background. He was undrafted out of Wisconsin, took their team to the Rose Bowl. Wasn't very highly recruited. He was a 2-star recruit. Some MAC schools offered him. Wisconsin gets in on him late, offers him the deal. Then he gets to the NFL undrafted. He's with the Chargers around Norv Turner. He's with the 49ers around Jim Harbaugh. He actually was a practice squad guy on that Super Bowl team. The Packers, Mike McCarthy the last 3 years. He's so good about growing quarterbacks here. And now with the Colts, he's got Chuck Pagano. But remember, that Green Bay stint included Ben McAdoo, the Giants head coach, who was there working with the offense. He's been around good people. He's shown it here tonight. He had Moncrief, who dropped the ball at the 5-yard line.
I mean, that's great quarterback play. He's going to fake the screen to the outside. He's going to force what they think is a blocker going up. He's going to fake that. Watch that little shoulder shimmy there. And then the guy that they thought who was going to be a blocker runs right by them and drops the football. That is the second big drop. We saw T.Y. Hilton drop one earlier.
Quick snap here, fake to Gore. This is the throwback, and it's caught by Dwayne Allen, who's knocked over at the 18-yard line. This Colts offense working without their starting center, Ryan Kelly. And now without T.Y. Hilton, he's been downgraded to out for the rest of the game. Gave it a go with that back injury, but just couldn't keep going.
Yeah, and we're starting to see now the Pittsburgh Steelers, the closer they're getting down here, starting to bring more and more pressure. But so far, Scott Tolzien's had an answer for it. He's been very cool in the pocket. He's delivered on a couple of hot reads. But remember, he's down a few receivers here. They could really use a guy like Philip Dorsett to step up here. He is the quick one that plays much like T.Y. Hilton.
3rd and 4, Turbin the back, pressure, got rid of it, and incomplete. Busted in was Lawrence Timmons from the inside. That's ruled an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, it just comes shooting right through. There's Timmons right there, just a direct path, because you're going to see the back shoot out to the side. And Tolzien just didn't see it soon enough. Would have been fine, because I think you probably had Timmons on that coverage, but just got there too quickly, and they're going to go for it here. At least go for the hard count. We'll see.
Field goal would make it an 11-point game where you'd only need 1 touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal instead of 2 touchdowns. But Pagano will go for it on 4th and 4. Tolzien throws, and Allen hangs on. Big first down. This drive that started at their own 10 is now inside the 10.
Man, did Tolzien take a shot. Watch this loop come right around here and just come right down Broadway and take a big shot from Bud Dupree. But Tolzien, as he's done all night long, just hung in there. And Dwayne Allen, nice catch to go up there and hang on to this one. Dropped a key one last week, made a big play here.
For a long drive. This is going to be one of those quarters with 1 drive for each team. Final half minute. Colts in the red zone. And Turbin takes it to the 4. As this 3rd quarter is about to come to an end.
I mean, let's just repeat this one time. Chuck Pagano's squad is not giving this game up. This is so impressive. They had every reason to not believe here tonight, and they are fighting their tails off.
Reminds me of the game at the end of last season when they didn't have a quarterback on the roster. On Monday, they bring in a couple. They found a way to win. Down 14 as we go to the 4th. Sunday Night Football on Thanksgiving night continues after these messages. 9 Eastern and Pacific, 8 Central Wednesday night here on NBC. Love coming to Indianapolis. Santa ready to roll here as we enjoy the last hours of Thanksgiving. Mike Tirico in for Al Michaels with Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Well, Turkey and Tolzien. I don't think that was in the plans on Sunday, but Andrew Luck in the concussion protocol. Scott Tolzien, the backup, comes in. What a drive. This is longest of the season in terms of plays for the Colts as this 4th quarter begins with 2nd and goal for the 4. Frank Gore is the back. And he's got it. Shazier waiting. Gore was down. He loves to keep crawling for those extra yards. He's down just inside the 3.
Yeah. This is really go time right here for this Indianapolis Colts team. The strength of this offensive line is off to that left side. Anthony Costanzo, Jack Newhart. And you just feel like if they're really going to take a big shot at something here and just try and power this one in, you wonder if what happened at the end of the half may change their opinion of how to play this. If they're going to go for it on 4th down, do you run it twice here? You go to a bunch formation to the left. We'll see.
Big old basketball player Eric Swope at 6'5" down here at the bottom. Got a safety coming over this side to help out. Tolzien gonna run it. Put his head down. Lost his helmet. And he's down right around the 1-yard line. It's gonna be 4th down. Mike Mitchell made the tackle.
Man, what a hit from Mike Mitchell. Had the big hit earlier. Watch him come up. Tolzien's gonna take off. And Mike Mitchell is like, oh, shot out of a cannon. Just no way you're going to move forward as a quarterback. Mike Mitchell has just had some devastating hits on the back end, and believe me, receivers who come across the middle are thinking about number 23.
This was college football. Tolzien would have to come out for this play. 4th and goal at the 1. Will the long drive be 7 or nothing? Tolzien throws incomplete, trying to get it to Philip Dorsett. No flags, and the Steelers have stopped the Colts for the 2nd time in this game on 4th down from inside the 5. Dorsett has hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pittsburgh ball. You know what, Chris, you're right. I should take off my jacket. There should be only one jacket on right now. The football jacket of everyone's desire. The gold jacket, the Hall of Famer, Tony Dungy. You got that beautiful Hall of Fame ring tonight. Congratulations.
Did a nice job with this, and it was so special, just the way the Lord worked it out to be here, Pittsburgh and Indy, where my career started and where I ended up. Just really special tonight.
From the 1, here's the run for Le'Veon Bell off the goal line, and your 3rd team now, our team as well.
Absolutely,
So we got
all together.
Yeah.
All together, yes.
There we go. Let's break down a couple of these guys here.
Well, I tell you, coming off the goal line, it's critical for Indianapolis to get this stopped. You know, 2 times been down there at the 1, not getting it in, but they still have a chance. If they can force a punt here, get the ball at midfield, they can still make a game of it.
I'll tell you, they've played well. I was talking about that coaching guy.
Oh.
We had a couple different looks at him, but it's all right. You can go ahead and go right back to football. I'm sure America will be happy.
3 on the first run for Bell. Le'Veon has 93 yards and a touchdown thus far tonight. Try to work the Steelers some space here, and here comes that third down opportunity the Colts are going to have. What do you think of the way Scott Tolzien has played?
You know, he's played well for the circumstances. I was out there yesterday at their complex, and they were very confident. They felt like they had a good game plan, that Pittsburgh would gang up on the run, and they'd have a chance to make some plays in the passing game, and they thought Scott could do it.
Well, if Dorsett caught that ball, we would have had a game. If he hadn't stumbled on the other end. It could have been easily 21-21 at this point. This team has really fought hard tonight.
And Vinatieri missed a field goal. It was over 50 yards, but you get so used to him making them. Steelers facing 3rd and 4. And they're just going to give it to Bell and say, go get it, Le'Veon. But what does he do? He goes and gets it. Bell with the first down just outside the 15-yard line.
Tony, have you ever seen a guy that runs quite like Le'Veon Bell?
You know, you won't believe this, but Franco Harris, just so patient, can play the whole field. It can be an inside run like this here and end up bouncing to the sideline. But great vision, great patience. A smaller Franco Harris, actually.
You know, it's funny that when you're coaching kids to play football, you tell them, hit it up in there, you know. And then you watch this guy lead the league and be one of the great running backs in all of football, and it's the patience that makes the difference.
It really does.
16, he's got it for the 19th time and only gains a yard. Coach, we had mentioned earlier that the championship team, Super Bowl 41 team, was back here for a reunion last weekend, and it has to be a great 5 or 6 days for you.
It really was, and we're trying to do it all together and do everything tonight, but Saturday there was a dinner, and then Sunday I wasn't here, but I got to watch this and the energy in the stadium and just the camaraderie of these guys. It was so special, and you know, obviously my favorite team, and just seeing them be able to celebrate it was pretty awesome.
What happened to the other half of Jeff Saturday?
we had a few guys that actually lost weight and have slimmed down.
Bell can't get all the way through the hole and pick up the first down, but he's going to get over 100 yards with that carry. Takes it to the 24. We have 3rd and a few coming up. It was a special team. Remember the game against Pittsburgh the year before that? Obviously the Roethlisberger tackle of Jerome Bettis. And then you guys come back next year with great resiliency, go to the Super Bowl in the rain in Miami and beat Chicago.
And that 2006 team maybe didn't even have as much talent as the 05 team, but dealing with adversity, bouncing back, the closeness of that unit, it was very, very special.
Approaching the 10-minute mark. 3rd and 2. It's been all Bell on this drive. We'll try it again with Pouncey, the center, pulling, and there's that patience, but a flag comes down right where that block was happening. And we'll see if that'll bring it back.
Holding, number 66, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
David DeCastro.
Yep, he hooked Robert Mathis.
And we talk about the athleticism of these offensive linemen all the time. There aren't many teams that can send 2 guys out in front like that and then a back with the patience of Le'Veon Bell. This one comes back, though, and this one is probably the play of the game now for the Indianapolis Colts. Don't think Mike Tomlin liked that one much.
Wanted the flag after the first down. Meantime, Mathis got that left arm hooked, is being looked at on the Colts sideline. 3rd and 12. Have to get to the 26 now. After 5 runs of Le'Veon Bell on this drive, Roethlisberger to the air and incomplete for Sammy Coates. They've taken away Antonio Brown for the most part on these 2 drives in the second half, and the Colts get a stop with 9.5 to go.
You know, it's interesting, Tony. Teams wonder why, or fans wonder why you use these kind of motions right here. Once that corner didn't go across there with him, they know it's a zone defense.
Exactly the coverage.
So immediately now, Ben Roethlisberger says they're playing zone. I'm going to take my shot on the outside. Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, those veteran quarterbacks.
They see so much with that little short motion.
The motion makes a big difference.
Big rush on Jordan Berry. They get to him. The flag comes down. Rogers makes the fair catch at the 48-yard line. TJ Green, the second-round pick safety out of Clemson, coming through the middle there. The question's going to be, is it 5 or 15? Running into or roughing?
Well, he hit the kicking leg, which is usually 5.
Correct.
If they hit the plant leg, that's usually the 15 variety.
It looked like he actually got blocked into him also.
I'm pretty sure I saw Walt Coleman put up the one hand saying it was a 5. So he went over to talk to Mike Tomlin. The line judge did. Tack it on the end, Mike says. Miss these moments, Tony, with the officials?
You know, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. I had some of my most fun conversations in these times.
Yeah. How about this guy?
There you go.
That's my man.
Running into the kicker, number 32. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
He showed up at the end of your great run here. Hey, thanks. We'll see you on Football Night Sunday night.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, congratulations on that Hall of Fame ring.
Thank you. It was an awesome night.
Great to have Tony Dungy with us here. A reminder that we'll have Denver and Kansas City on Sunday night. Tony will be back in the studio with Rodney and Dan Patrick. Football Night in America. Bob Costas will be with us in Denver at 7 Eastern time. Pretty big game flexed into this one to see the teams that are tied for the 3rd best record in the AFC. Raiders and the Patriots both 8-2. Denver and Kansas City 7-3.
I could do curls with that Hall of Fame ring.
Great hang time on this kick by Barry Rogers. Will fair catch it, and that 5-yard penalty is going to turn to about an 18-yard field position difference for Pittsburgh. Marvin Harrison, Tony Dungy, HOF. McAfee's a trip. He's just terrific. He's one of a kind, that's for sure, and so talented as well. Hope you enjoyed all your sides, your desserts, hanging out, enjoying Thanksgiving night with us here in Indianapolis. Scott Tolzien led 2 good drives, and Jack Doyle gets taken out by Mike Mitchell, but a good gain out to the 45-yard line. A pickup of 18 on 1st down.
Yeah, running it just well enough that when you come out here on 1st down, do a little play fake, those linebackers step up, and then you get Jack Doyle right in behind.
Gonna jump into some no huddle here. 9 minutes left. Need to score twice. They've been moving the ball. Tolzien seeing the field well now. Dante Moncrief on the run into Steeler territory. Pushed out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Gain of a dozen.
We were just talking about their 2 best drives of the night end up in 0 points. If you kick 2 field goals in those situations, you have an 8-point game right now. So there's always that argument about making sure you score something out of a great drive. But you really couldn't argue because the Steelers' offense was just so explosive in the first half. You felt like you were probably going to have to score 40 to keep up with it.
They were walking down the field. First 3 drives, the Steelers scored touchdowns. They haven't scored on their last 4 drives. One of them was a brief one, just 3 plays at the end of the half. But Indy's defense has settled in a little bit. And the Colts have moved the ball. A pump and a throw downfield. Turning the head is Dorsett, and it's intercepted by Mitchell. Mike Mitchell, who's made so many big hits, comes up with the interception. And the return takes him to the 25. He's got some blocking now. Tolzien holds on and pulls him down. But Mike Mitchell comes up with the INT.
Boy, the pump fake, I think, sort of drew Mike Mitchell right to it.
First of the year, 10th of his career. And a big one for the Steelers, who are up 14. Needed 6 wins, 6 draws. Should be a great one Saturday, 12:30. The Premier League here on NBC. Joe Philbin, former Dolphins head coach, offensive line coach for the Colts. Going to get those guys in place if they get another chance. Roethlisberger going to go for a deep shot here, a knockout punch. Caught by the tight end Green. 2 big ones down the field for Ladarius Green here tonight. Flips the field into Colts territory.
Go a little play action, then it's a 2nd level throw here. A little delay here, and now you come out giving coach plenty of time to clear everything out underneath it. Takes a little extra time from that offensive line, and then perfectly thrown in there by Ben Roethlisberger. Some of his touch passes tonight have just been perfect. And boy, I tell you, it is making a difference, hasn't it? Having Ladarius Green, they were going to try and work him in a little bit more tonight. This is what they thought they had all along, a down-the-field receiver.
They invested good money in him, hoping he could be that tight end of choice for Roethlisberger. Carry for Le'Veon Bell for 3 yards to the 25-yard line. And you lose Heath Miller. Heath Miller did so much for so many years. Certainly the productivity not there at the end of his career. But that tight end with Roethlisberger and getting him on the field, Chris, as you said earlier, those Roethlisberger plays that he keeps alive, the more Green can be out there, be another option along with Brown when the play breaks down. The Steelers are going to need that in this last month of the season.
Yeah, that's what the Colts were calling it, the Madden schoolyard plays, you know, where he just scrambles around and makes a play, and a big target like Ladarius Green would be a huge asset.
Bell runs to the 22-yard line. It's Thanksgiving, and we're talking about players and runners. Barry Sanders had that little hesitation. Le'Veon Bell's got the hesitation to his game as well.
You know who else has it? David DeCastro. Watch this as he comes around here. He knows his back is going to take his time, so he can pick his way through there and find who he needs to block.
That's great.
His whole team's patient. It's amazing.
That's what I had pegged coming to the stadium tonight. I'm going to mention Barry Sanders and David DeCastro in the same sentence.
Same guy, same kind of moves, you know.
Robert Mathis hurt for the Colts. We mentioned that left arm that he got injured on that holding penalty on DeCastro on the last drive. Vontae Davis hurt. Mathis hurt. T.Y. Hilton hurt. Without luck tonight. Roethlisberger shot for the end zone. Who else? Antonio Brown got another one. That's the hat trick for Brown.
Who fucking with us? Who fucking with us?
Well, on the outside, it's going to go against Rashawn Melvin, and really they've got a safety that way, Mike Adams, but they just cannot get the safety help. You saw Mike Mitchell on the other side break and make this interception, and for Mike Adams, just couldn't quite make it over the top to help with that play, and that combination seems like every time they play the Colts, just too much for Indianapolis.
Chris Boswell extra point, 28-7. So the Colts couldn't convert on their opportunities. You got the feeling it was only a matter of time. Roethlisberger and Brown, 3 times on Thanksgiving night. The Colts have seen this movie too many times for the last few years. The City Market opened in 1886 on the National Register of Historic Places. Unreturnable kick by Boswell. 5.5 to go this Thanksgiving. Been a big night for Mr. Brown. High school teams that are playing in the state championship. The Indiana High School Football State Championship games played tomorrow and Saturday here in Lucas Oil Stadium. So the teams got a chance to get an hour or so of practice each yesterday. I wish them all the best this weekend. Philip Dorsett with the catch for Indianapolis. And the Colts without their quarterback and the quarterback of their defense. Their safety gathers out. Look at this. Mathis injured. Hilton. Vontae Davis. The center Ryan Kelly. Denzel Good, the offensive lineman. They have really taken a beating on both sides of the ball tonight. Tolzien hit as he threw that one. Incomplete. Stephon Tuitt. Great game last week with the contact. Chris, the only saving grace for Indianapolis is they have as long a rest as you can have without a bye week coming up. They play on Thursday. They're off until next Monday night when they go to visit the Jets. They hope to have Andrew Luck and some of those other guys back. They're going to drop under 500 and be in a chase here in the AFC South.
I have to say, I feel a little sorry for Scott Tolzien. I thought he played the kind of game tonight. This team could have been competitive. You know, if Philip Dorsett makes that catch down there, if he doesn't stumble on that end, they're going to be right in this game. And boy, is he taking some hits like that.
In there, Moncrief able to make the catch. Man, Ross Cockrell was just flying in on all these pressures. And he stayed in and made the throw.
The exact blitz that they started the game with. Here he's going to come right through the gap here as they divide here and just going to create a wide open gap and a free shot on Tolzien, who's taken about 10 of those tonight and has just hung in there. He really deserved better than what happened to him in this game tonight.
.453 to go. Get to it. Pounding in there. 13 off now. It's deflected and incomplete. A little bull rush there from Stephon Tuitt, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his 2-sack game in Cleveland on Sunday.
Here comes Tuitt right around here, and Mike Tomlin was telling us, you know, he used to be the Robin to Cameron Hayward's Batman. Now he has to be Batman. And what did he do last week? He stepped up and he was Batman, and he's delivered again here tonight. We have seen some real maturity from Stephon Tuitt, and he is going to have to be big if the Steelers are going to go on a run.
Yep. Red 20. Red 20 hot.
Second and 10, Tolzien to Robert Turbin. Hargrave hit him first. Bud Dupree, they're getting back in the lineup now. He had core muscle surgery off a sports hernia last year, just back in the lineup. We played a few snaps against Cleveland, tried to get him a dozen or so, maybe 15 tonight. And the outside rushers, Jarvis Jones, Dupree, Joy James Harrison. Steelers feel like they're getting stronger down the stretch in that spot.
They have plenty of options out there now. Dupree's been sharp tonight. He actually, and they sort of rotate those guys in there equally. I don't think I'll ever get over listening to James Harrison, though, talk about the treatments that he goes through on a weekly basis to try and get ready to play football. That dry needle, I didn't even know what that was. They basically just put needles down. And when James Harrison says something's painful, it must be ridiculous what it is. But the cupping and the chiropractor and the acupuncture, this every week he does all this stuff.
And the routine is hours after practice. He puts in 14, 16-hour days, practice and preparation physically. William Gay underneath will come up with that interception of Tolzien with 4:08 to go. Intercepted on back-to-back drives here, trying to make something happen down the field. And one for the veteran, William Gay. Well, the NFL celebrating football families of all kinds and their incredible ways that game day can bring people together. Earlier, you met Stacy Keebler and her dad, who experienced the Million Meals movement, and they're attending their first Colts game this Thanksgiving night. Happy Thanksgiving to the Keeblers and to you and your football family. A lot of football families in Western PA have 7 and 84 and 26 jerseys to go with their terrible towels.
The triplets.
Job well done, night done. Landry Jones comes in to replace Ben Roethlisberger for Pittsburgh with 4:08 to go. And we'll give it to Fitzgerald Toussaint. Takes it for about 4 or 5 yards.
You know, Mike, I've got to tell you, my favorite story of the weekend, though, came from Mike Adams. And when he was talking about Thanksgiving, of course, a lot of these teams go out and serve turkey dinner to people in need. And so he was serving the dinner and talking about these kids that kept coming back in line. They were supposed to get one and then no more, and they would come back a second time and a third time. And somebody started to step in, and Mike said, no, don't do that. He said, me and my brothers used to do the same thing. You know, that we would go through second or third time with the church that was serving this food, and they probably knew it was our second and third time too, and they let it go. I'm letting that go because he could see that they were hungry. And you forget, I mean, there are so many families and there's so many people, and you and I are so blessed with everything that we have. And but to see somebody who had lived that life now on the other side as an NFL player doing the serving and going, hold on, man, I was that kid at one time.
We are very quick to discuss things that happen with players in the league, and understandably so. When you're in a high-profile position, things go wrong. They should be reported on. But we probably underreport the amount of community involvement, attachment, and you saw both of these teams in their communities in Western Pennsylvania and Central Indiana, handing out turkeys, just making folks' holidays a little bit brighter. We talked about Adams. He went to Passaic Tech High School in Wayne, New Jersey, and a Patterson, New Jersey native. And that really touched me as well. Because I was just asking, hey, what did Thanksgiving mean to you? What was the memory you had that food you talked about they got from the church and the family, just to be able to sit there that one time a year and have that big feast of food that they didn't get to enjoy all year round. So.
And probably as kids, they were thinking we were getting away with something.
Yeah, right.
I'll bet there was another Mike Adams back at that church that said, let him go.
That's right. 2.5 left here in the fourth. And it's Toussaint. A series of carries here. We'll take it out to midfield. As we remind you that from Indianapolis tonight, our aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. That's a famed monument there. Monument Circle gets lit up, circle of lights tomorrow night, and is one of the prettier downtown scenes as you travel around the country for the holiday season. Colts are going to have to do some work in the month of December. They'll fall to 5-6 in the AFC South. 2-minute warning here at Lucas Oil Stadium, and the Steelers on their way to a Thanksgiving night victory. Really looking forward to this one 1 week from tonight, Thursday Night Football, right here on NBC, NFL Network, and Twitter as well. The steamrolling Cowboys take on the Minnesota Vikings. Zeke and Dak getting it done again. Kirk Cousins had a great day, 449 yards, but Dallas is 10-1. And the Lions beat Sam Bradford and the Vikings. So Minnesota's going to really face some desperation, Chris, because it's essentially 2 games behind the division lead as we hit December. So that's Thursday night right here on NBC. 7:30 Eastern time begins. Andrew Jones to the air here, throwing to Jesse James, the tight end. That pass is incomplete on 3rd and 4, and the Steelers will punt it away with 1:53 to go.
Yeah, it looked like the Minnesota Vikings were in position to win that game. They were going down for what they hoped would be the winning field goal. Instead, had the interception on that trap coverage, and that was that.
Darius Slay, his Twitter handle's Big Play Slay, and his number's in there as well. But he's made a couple of big plays for the Lions this year. That pick of Bradford late set up the Matt Prater field goal, 2 in the final minute 45. The Lions have trailed in every game in the fourth quarter, and they're sitting at 7-4 on Thanksgiving night. Berry kicks it away. Akeem Harris trying to get in there for the block. These Australian punters have this to a science. Down at the 7, 1:42 to go. The tradition of Thanksgiving on this broadcast. The turkey leg. Those are huge turkey legs too. Yeah. Who's going to get them?
Get the offensive line out.
Oh, the history of the turkey legs. Justin Tucker in that game-winning field goal. Russell Wilson as partaker. Richard Sherman.
He took the whole thing.
As usual, Richard Sherman's got to put his signature on it, right?
No question. He took the whole thing in. Fed all his guys. It was great.
Well, add to that history of the players of the game on the Volkswagen post-game. Turkey legs and game balls will be awarded. Michelle will sit down with the players of the game. And we will look ahead to Sunday in Denver. Flexed into teams with the 3rd best records of the AFC. Just one behind New England and Oakland, Kansas City and Denver. And given all the tiebreaker implications, very big game. So we'll talk about that coming up right after the game on the Volkswagen postgame report. Jordan Todman is the back in his final minute 42. And he'll get his first rushing attempt of the game across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Todman, as mentioned, had that kickoff return against Green Bay, and then also had a very good kickoff return, 61 yards in that game as well. This was a night where the Colts lose 28-7. You say, they weren't in the game. They had their chances, Chris.
They were in the game.
Yeah.
If they'd have punched that one in right before the first half and then had another opportunity down there. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of this turkey stuff coming up. For me, watching John Madden carve up the turkey, sometimes with his hand, and carve that thing up and hand it out. I mean, it was, you really, there weren't all the games on television. Right. So there were some of those magical moments that you remembered so well. And that was just hilarious. Then it became the turducken. And so there were more legs and more things. But everybody has a few memories from when they first fell in love with the game of football. And that certainly, I think, for a lot of us was one of them.
Final half minute here. Todman will get another run. stumble and fall at the 45, and we'll see if the Colts call it a day here. They try to squeeze off one more play.
I think Chuck Pagano may be happy to just get out of here and say, you know what, guys, because they can't afford one more injury if they're going to make a late season run at this thing.
They're 5-6. They have Houston ahead of them by a game and a half in the division. Houston comes here in week 14. Indianapolis will play at the Jets next Monday night. And the Steeler fans who made the trip and remain, as usual, have a little cheer on the road here. Volkswagen post-game report and the turkey legs are coming up after these messages from your local NBC station.